MultimediaJay Radio Style.
What is up, everybody? Here we go yet again, trying to do some happier content on here on MultimediaJay Radio Style. What is up, everybody? How many times am I going to say what's up? Yeah, I've been talking all day. Earlier today, I did a recording with Staffa for Out of Continues, where we talk about Steam and Steam as a standard setter for PC gaming, which I believe very much that Steam has evolved to the point where it is going to start setting standards, and not just for PC gaming, but maybe for all gaming as well down the road. And that should be posting on Monday, like most of the Out of Continues episodes usually do. I don't know if PAX East is going to mess this show up or anything along those lines, but anyways, I want to talk about a few things, most notably the upcoming YouTube One channel design that is now being pitched to YouTubers. Hey, upgrade your channel, and here's what's changed, and stuff like that. I'm going to chime in on that, but first I want to respond to some confused feedback that I've gotten regarding the get fired on purpose stuff. No, that was me I just got to explain that. The whole getting fired on purpose thing that I talked about in some of the vlogs about this warehouse situation and whatnot, that was me hamming things up a bit for entertainment value. Get fired on purpose is the thing that the other folks that I'm with that are sick of this doldrums that we've been in at this place. That's the kind of stuff that, like, the guy that wants to call off enough times to attendance point his way out of the place and collect unemployment for however long he can until he can hopefully find another job. Getting fired on purpose is what folks like that would do. What I'm doing with this whole thing is the ultimate test of whether I'm welcome at this place or not, because what I've seen there, with what I've seen there, I have a choice between either blending in and risking being deemed not interesting by other companies down the road, or keeping my values and character and integrity intact, being myself and not trying to be something I'm not, and then going to future job interviews and having to explain all of this and look like an idiot. No, that's the whole thing. I am at the point now where I'm convinced that it's do or die. That if these people really want good people, actions speak louder than words, they're going to have to prove to me that good people can succeed and attain all their goals at this place. If the place really is so broken that I have to choose between following the rules and making performance goals, then I'd rather err on the side, because that's what the business needs. They're having problems with people not following procedures and causing lots of headaches for the management of the place. That's what these people need. So it would be better in terms of how I interact with this company and my own integrity as an individual for me to do what I'm doing and try to, if it's possible to do everything right and still get shown the door, I need to be that guy. That is what needs to happen, rather than me changing who and what I am and being something I'm not just to blend in and have a check. Because I've heard from people that have tried to be an organizational chameleon and maybe get a little dishonest at more dishonest type places to survive there, and they haven't wound up in much better shape than I have. Their job is shaky. They suspect their replacement may be getting trained to take their place. I've heard about the end game of this kind of just be a chameleon and blend in and just do whatever you need to do to keep the checks coming in. It doesn't work. Plus, that's what happened to me at the cable company. What on earth was I thinking around this time last year? What is it? Yeah, almost exactly around this time last year, when I started working for an organization that all but ran me out of the room at the job interview and then turned around and actually offered me the job. And then, of course, changed their mind 3 months later. What I was thinking was, it's a check that's not limited like the unemployment benefits would have been. I should just go for it and figure something else out afterwards. Well, that didn't work out now, did it? So As much as I out of college did the mundane job versus career job thing, it doesn't work as well as one would think. Then again, I do come from a family where what the guys in my family do for a living changes, sometimes radically, just so they can keep supporting their family. My grandfather tried his hand at professional baseball. He was a steel worker. He served in the military during World War II as a medic, and I believe he wound up being a training sergeant because they found out he had a medical condition that meant he couldn't be flown around the world to the European or the European or Pacific fronts. So he actually wound up becoming a sergeant and training the folks who went off to fight on the fronts and whatnot here in the States because they couldn't fly him anywhere. But he would have gone out, believe me. Folks in my family do have courage, so hopefully nobody's like, oh, your grandfather chickened out. And don't insult the man like that. He was a great guy. And my dad would probably slug someone who would just boom right across the chops. They dared to insult this guy, but He did all that. He did industrial type stuff. He hauled steel beams around. And then at the end of his career, computers were first coming out, the big ones that took up whole rooms, and his company invested in a computer. The last thing he did before he passed away for his company that he worked for all those years, he was a computer operator. He was dealing with steel drums and pushing buttons and flipping switches and lugging stacks of tractor feed printer paper around that were almost as big as he was. He was definitely all over the map in terms of providing for his family. So I do come from that kind of background. But one thing neither my grandfather did nor I will do is compromise our values and who we are just for a check. No, there's a paraphrase of the book of Proverbs in Scripture that says that ill-gotten gain brings no lasting happiness, but right living does. That's not what the verse really says. It's a paraphrase, hint, hint, but I love the quote either way. And it's true. I mean, yeah, you need to be able to sleep at nights. You need to be able to have a clear conscience with what you do. The minute that goes away, you become like Bud Fox in the Wall Street movie. And even if you're rolling in dough, sometimes you walk out onto your penthouse balcony at night like Mr. Fox does in the movie. Charlie Sheen. I think, yeah, Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen. I keep you never even mixed up who's in that film. But you walk out like Mr. Fox onto your penthouse balcony with all the money in the world, and you stare out at the darkness and say, who am I? And that is not what I want to be. So what's going on with this whole thing is not getting fired on purpose. It's the ultimate test, because if I can't work at this place with a clean conscience and be the goody two-shoe that these people need in their business, then I need to... It's the reverse of what Jim Collins talks about in Good to Great, creating an organizational culture that's like a machine that processes people, and good people thrive and prosper and help the company be the best in the world at what it does, while people that aren't so good are ejected like a virus. If because of who and what I am and the values I stand for, I am going to be ejected like a virus from this organization, then so be it. There is no way to avoid it. Let's just let it happen instead of me trying to be something that I'm not, just to fit in. Okay, let's talk about the YouTube One channel, and let's move along here. YouTube One channel, I love it. It's definitely an evolution of YouTube that helps get rid of these stupid-looking... some people call it the YouTube Panda format or the ugly gray thing and stuff like that. And what I really like is that the YouTube One channel format really kind of gives the whole channel a unified appearance without sacrificing functionality. And let me just, excuse me, let's see here. Haven't been eating too well. Got to lay off some of the salt. But anywho, one of the best things I'm looking at Laura Vitale's channel. This is one of the Laura in the Kitchen. This is one of those channels that is a sample channel for the new YouTube One format. And this is the thing. I love how it stretches out to fill the screen with the rest of... It stretches out and resizes with the browser to fill the screen, just like the original Profiles 1.0 did. It's not like the Profile 2.0 digital newspaper format that squeezed everything in the middle. This is actually dynamic, and I like it. Yeah, sure, it may sort of look like Google Plus, and it may get people thinking, yeah, Google Plus isn't doing so well, so Google is trying to make YouTube look like Google Plus. There is some applied psychology in there in terms of look and feel and getting people to associate certain looks and feels with certain stuff like the Windows interface with Windows, for example, and stuff like that. But there is some psychology that goes on there with that kind of stuff. However, this is a step up from even the YouTube 2 format. It's almost a step up, I'd say, from the original YouTube format. And it hides views for the most part, I think. I'm looking around this channel. There are some views being listed here and stuff like that. But some people say it hides view. I'm going to have to try and see what parameters are available. But another big thing that this new design does is it gives you a guide on how to make the graphics for your channel so that when your channel is viewed on multiple devices, like someone watching on a phone or using the YouTube app on PS3 or something like that, it actually shows what everything's going to look like. And that's huge because consistency across multiple formats is going to become a big issue with design things like this when it comes to technical design and stuff like that. We'll see it on the gaming consoles. We'll see it on the tablets. We'll see it all over the place in the next couple of years, I guarantee it. And it's good that Google and YouTube are focusing on this and getting ahead of the curve in terms of getting this kind of consistency going on YouTube as we start seeing more and more of these so-called post-PC devices taking off. Yeah, I've already done a podcast about the whole post-PC thing. I don't think PCs are going away. They're just going to become more niche than they are right now in both the corporate and consumer IT worlds. But yes, definitely, I like this new setup. But it's going to take some work for me to convert my channel over. I'm going to have to record like an intro video for people that aren't subscribed yet. So if you see a video that's like a general introduction to the channel, which, by the way, I don't have. So great. Yeah, don't be surprised by it. But yeah, I don't have an introduction to this channel at all. I've got an introduction to my blog, MultimediaJay.wordpress.com, but I don't have an introduction to my YouTube channel. I did an intro to multimedia video back in 2006 that I'll probably hold my nose and make into a retro reel one of these days, or even Super-A it and kind of make fun of myself to show that I have a sense of humor. What was that that said that, you need to, the ultimate sign of having a sense of humor is when you can laugh at yourself or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's, I don't even have any kind of intro video for this channel. Well, I will be fixing that. I just got to get to work on it. It's probably going to be like a 1 weekend, 2 weekend project or something, but oh boy, here I go again. I have way too much. I have way too much going on right now. I'm not even to the chores that I want to do, and it's almost sunset on Saturday, so I got to do something. I think I'm going to have to tear myself away from this. I also have a blog entry currently that I'm typing up about the whole headset mic thing. I want to do some topic consolidation on the blog. There's dysfunctionomy and all of this other stuff that's going on as well. There's just so much for me to do. I may end up uploading things out of order, but we'll do this radio style thing and start the chores while it's uploading, because these radio styles don't take forever. That's one of the reasons why I do this format. It's functionally the same as like an Icy Rhythms or Review Tech USA video where the guy just talks over like gaming footage or something like that, but without the gaming footage to increase the file size, increase the upload time, and increase the usage of your bandwidth caps. So I hope I haven't made anyone think I'm cheeseballing things with the radio style series, but that's been the point of this whole series from the very beginning, is to be kind of like a more AV Geek style, radio style alternative to generic video blogging. Although I do actually do some generic vlogs from time to time. Although the paint in this place has faded. It used to be beige, now it's Boston cream donut yellow. So that's why the place looks so ugly. Or maybe I could just switch to black and white and do like some kind of classic television style video blogs or something like that. No, let's just do what's fun. That'll sum it up there. So YouTube 1 channel, I'll probably record the intro to the channel video first before making the switch. And I think what I'm going to do is play around with this in the off hours when I get home from work after a long night on the night shift. So we'll do all the experimenting and surprise changes on the channel during off-peak hours when folks aren't poking around on YouTube as much, at least in this part of the world. So, but according to my statistics, most of the people who watch what I do on here are from the United States and Canada, and some people from the UK. So, I suppose the hours thing might sort of work. Anyways, I hope this clears up any misconceptions about what sounded very much like getting fired on purpose. That's not something I do. What I'm doing here is experimenting with the operational state of this business to see if I have any future at this place. And if I don't, we need to part ways. And one of us has to come out and say it, because this limbo state that I've been in as a temp at this place for all these months is laughable to other types of employers. Oh, they wouldn't even hire you on after 8.5 months? What's wrong with you? Yeah, see, I might get stuff like that in future interviews. So it's not good for me to stay where I am. Quite frankly, things need to change ASAP, and I will do something if nobody else will to change that. A lot of people, family and friends, professional contacts have been coming out of the woodwork and surprising me all over the place with how much they want to help me out. And their offers will not be turned down, that's for sure. I will be grateful for people who have reached out to me in this time of need. And thank you to all of you, by the way. I'll give you a shout out right here on the channel right now. So that's what's going on with that stuff. This is where I stand on the YouTube One design. It is an improvement. There will be people on YouTube who complain about YouTube One because they complain about everything that changes on every website they go to. They always complain when things change. But I think compared to the digital newspaper, media player, YouTube Vista, as I called it back in the day, compared to that and compared to this ugly gray thing, this is definitely a step in the right direction. And especially with the multi-device support. Folks, as much as we may like to think YouTube is invincible, these video sites can go under at any time. We've seen Rever disappear. We've seen live video become a broken zombie excuse for a site that doesn't actually play any videos. So Rever and live video, they used to be big names in this kind of stuff, and they're not anymore. We've seen Stickam shut down. These websites aren't invincible. Sometimes the way things work in these developing technology industries and whatnot is change or die. And if you're not constantly looking for ways to improve, you will get left behind and left in the dust. I mean, I watched live video, not even add widescreen. So they started out better than YouTube. YouTube caught up to and surpassed them by leaps and bounds. And the final nail in the coffin was when YouTube removed the length limit on uploads. So sometimes change is necessary with this industry, and it will happen. And when it happens, we just got to figure out what we're going to do in response to it. So what I'm going to do is make plans to do some kind of intro video to introduce everybody, to introduce new people to this channel, which has been noticeably missing on my channel. And there have been people that have subscribed in more recent years that weren't there when I started this in 2006 and are like, what? And it'd be good for them to know where I came from and whatnot and what it is that I do here. This is a personal, recreational variety hobby channel because I'm an AV geek that likes messing around with this kind of stuff. But that's just a sentence. It doesn't really show people a little bit of what this channel does or anything like that. So I should get to work on that video at some point. And as far as everything else goes, well, I've been saying that I've just been getting days over with this at this point. I suppose that's probably a viable strategy. Just keep getting days done and see what the next one brings. Sometimes when you are knocked down to the dirt, all you can really do is put one foot in front of the other and see what happens next. So let's just keep doing that. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for listening and thanks for stopping by.